Rinpoche, it is written we should be inspired. Allah,
I'm
from
not,
this
I'm
very
not rich
moment,
yet. There is.
from the very moment onwards. So from now on, we should be inspired
Yes.
by positive thoughts, words, and deeds because of impermanence. So I don't understand. If it is impermanence, why should we being
If you
inspired by
are
positive?
hungry, you are interested to eat food, yes? Yes?
Good. Thank you for the
exactly.
answer. Yes, okay.
You're thinking impermanent, and then what can you do for benefit impermanent? It's Dharma. Then you have interest.
So that means I am inspired by wanting to be happy. So then I have to make
Want
positive.
to practice Dharma, benefit
No,
not
being
only
happy.
yourself. To me, also think, please.
Oh, Rinpoche.
And other? In which we are the tapped and open, which our sentient existence depends, and we, as we can never be sure when or where this secret cross of the unillusory bodies. Secret cross, caring cross, or care cross, illusory body. This is going to disintegrate. It's a truth. This crowd, caring, the cat crowd, names is like different synonyms. Do you have this one? Care crowds, like many farmers, particularly some in the monkey countries. They have a lot of this kind of the monument or the statues, looks like humans, to make the normally scaring cross. I think this one, scaring cross. Monkey cross is good. It's not only, that is like idiotism. Sometimes it's like, some countries like a lot of monkeys, and they are coming to in the field. And then they make this kind of looks like human. Yes, monkeys. And the illusory body is going to disintegrate. That is the one how it is. We don't know. It is important that from this very moment onward, we inspired ourselves to thoughts, word, and deed. Word and deed, which are the always positive. And positive body, positive verb, positive mind. Try, please. Try. Begging you, I'm begging to you to do something positive things. Least, for example, sometimes says when we make the tsok, tomorrow going to make tsok, maybe one candle can you buy, one biscuit, one incense to put there, to dedicate to the sentient beings, and such benefit. When we go outside to see on the road, there is one insect is going to die, to gently to take out. Maybe one person you meet, to look at this person smiley, kindly, is positive body needed. You know, it's like there is a history. One person, he all the time look at the others like this. And then finally, he's become very, very strange body. And we sometimes, like wherever we be, it's uncomfortable, problems, family, friend, relatives, everything. Maybe we think it's like they making problems, but maybe actually not. And this is our own tendencies, the karma. Sorry, our negative actions did it, and then it's like a result is very unpleasant. And therefore, it's today, in this moment, to change. If we want to something, it's like to benefit, because we can to look at the ourselves. Maybe it's they make joke. They say, I don't want, I don't want. But actually eating, actually collecting. And this is truth. It's like, of course, someone say, I don't want the happiness. But actually, they need it. A little bit kind of delight for something, circumstances good. They are laughing and dancing. A little bit circumstances, crying and tear is ascending. Look, this kind of balance inside, this kind of alternate feeling, thoughts. And then it's like, if we want to do something, even the do not thinking others, even we think ourselves, and we need to change positive body, positive verb, positive mind. It is a very important words, always positive, which is the mind meditate on impermanent. Mind meditate on impermanent means when you have very strong, negative mind and don't want to do any positive things, don't care anything, just like kind of full of the arrogant, proud, aggressive, unkindness. And then how you can to change is this. Maybe it is like to think about impermanent. Afterwards, changed. Anyway, it is like maybe it's a negative result is like this. And sometimes analyzed in the relative truth. When we analyze the relative truth, there's three valid cognitions to see that really that relative. Often says the functional of the cause, dependency of the result, inevitable, unchangeable of the true nature, the essence, characteristics. This is like kind of the relative valid cognitions establish the relative truth. And in the relatively, whatever we have cause, and this cause is a very much productive, very much like kind of active. There is a cause, 100% produces some result. Everything is in the current right now is a result things. It's good or bad, totally depends, it's the cause. Nothing else. Good cause, we have result good. Bad cause, bad result. This is the relative truth. It's happy or not, accept or not, it is reality like this. Even as we can to say without cause of something existence, did you find? Have you found? And also it's like negative cause produce positive, positive cause produce negative. Is it possible? Barley cause produce rice, rice cause to produce the barley? Impossible. And then certainly this cause and conditions produced something. Then the itself is each one is characteristics. Water characters, earth character, this type, but each one's character. That one is like the nature characteristics. It's like this. Water is weight, fire is burning. If you say why, there's no answer. Like this in the relatively. Something is like contractions together, something element is coming. There is something result. Some cause is coming, result is like this. And then it's like this is a reality. We need to take care cause, then the result is good. Result is good, character, nature character is good, and nature character is good, then we are very happy. And therefore, it says like to meditating on often and often, alternately. And sometimes analytical meditation to say is like out of environment, in sentient beings, even the holy sentient beings, holy beings, they already demonstrated to us about the impermanent. Am I that? Of course, no need to mention it. And my this like kind of presently, this contaminate my body, verb, mind, and continue like this carrying in the futures. After the impermanent, I will become like this. No, I don't want now. And now I have great opportunities, want to do something. At least every day something. Say, small positive cause produce the huge consequence. Small negative like kind of the cause, also the consequences are huge. This is a very nice sound, yes? Huge. And this is really is possible. For example, we can to say in this wood, this ticks, this insect, almost difficult to see, to batter to us, maybe give poison, huge this body can destroy it. And also it's like this, you can to look the medicine, I'm making jokes sometimes. It's I have insulin for the diabetic. And when I checked my diabetes very high, and this insulin, this water is a little bit, maybe, to put in my body, immediately going down. Wow, so powerful. This kind of small things, positives, also can purify it, such negatives destroying. And also small negatives can to make the huge, terrible things. And therefore, as much as we can to abandon, as much as we need to abandon the negative things, as much as we collect positive things, doesn't matter. Each 1 second to meditate, one single recite the manis, 1 picosecond generate bodhicittas, constantly benefit. Maybe 1 minute to show that to others kindness, smiling and this kind of. It is positive, necessary for you. All the time to be aggressive, doing nothing positive things. I don't know who can to help to ourselves. Like this. This is the obvious. This is the realities. This. And then I'm going to in the next chapter, chapter 4. And before that, do you have any argue with me? You don't want to argue with me, okay? Are you agreed with me? That's wonderful. I'm a winner. Because they agree with me. Okay, and then next chapter, it's talking about impermanent of those in the positions of the powers. And this position of the power is more rulers. And also like kind of the world rulers, presidents, ministers, and something like this powerful persons, millions, trillions people like turning around, and powerful. This kind of human beings is also. There are the magnificent and illusory God and rich rishis who can live for as long as the kalpa, but even they cannot escape the death. Of course, we are talking about like kind of the rishis. Sometimes in the forest, there is some is like kind of the rishis, and they are like kind of practice bindus, Venus, and in winds. Something is become very long life, powerful. And sometimes their life is maybe many years, they said like this. And also God Ralamas. You know God Ralamas? When you reborn there, it's natural. In the small lake you reborn there, natural. When you go out, there is the one tree. This is belonging to yours. And you go to the near the tree, whatever you have wish is naturally is coming. You want nice sound, you want nice form, food, color, whatever you want. Then in your life, there's no worried, nothing at all. Whatever you is like, my back is ache, someone is a massage, someone is a coming massage. I'm thirsty, I want delicious coffee. It's coming. And no, this is the truth. Yes, you created your mind. This we call the God Ralamas. Really is like enjoyed for the 5 object of the desirables. Their long life is a kalpas, eons. But then is before died, they have so much sufferings. And they are 80 days for themselves, 80 days, or 7 days, or 80 days, 7 days. No, I don't know, but something is before their death passes. They have divine eyes, clarity. They see the next destination. They died, they're falling direct to hell. And they see, and they're losing their position. Destination is ugly. And also it's like during this process, for ours, maybe 80 years or 70 years or something like this. It doesn't matter. Or 7 years or something. And then during that very much smell, it's a God, some as a people died, God beings died. And then it's a very bad smelling. And also they have trees collapse, flowers become old, everything. And then young gods, they're coming to see, far from they put the flower. Okay, now you are going to die, going to hell. After you reborn in the human beings, you can do something do positive. Then you can come into here, we can to enjoy it. And say like this, then they all go away. You cannot to coming close to the ours, and that's the dead person, beings. But like this kind of the long life person, and rich, powerful, that they also cannot to escape from the impermanent. It is the truth. And then is for us, absolutely, we need to think impermanent, inspired to practice Dharma, silver place. Those who rule over the beings like a Brahma. A Brahma? Oh yes. Brahmas, Indras, Vaishnaras, Ishvaras, and other great God living for whole kalpas, which statues measure in the link or the airhot and the power and resplendence that the outshine the sun and the moon are the nevertheless not beyond the reach of the death. And this kind of the most is like kind of desire realms, God, Brahma, India, Vish is like kind of the Ishvara, and this is more Hindu gods. This is like mentioned. And those are the, really it is like a very taller and very handsome, beautiful. And also the lings are the like kind of the maybe 100 meters taller. And also, and a lot such and the powerful. And this kind of the sentient beings also is finally cannot to escape the death, impermanent. They are going to disappear, included our sun and the moon. And also it's like they handsomes, they beauties, and even to make the sun and moon is embarrassed. So much handsome, so much beautiful, so much like powerful. And also those kind of the sentient beings is never cannot go beyond the reach of the impermanent. We are absolutely. Here is the mention of the Ishvaras, those things. Just a kind of you need to concern in them. Generally, if we don't want to concern them, not necessarily, not. But this kind of powerful cannot escape from the impermanent. Can you escape from your impermanent or not? That is the question. What is your question?
So, these holy beings and Buddha himself, he demonstrate impermanence to us. He himself, he is permanent because he realized Buddha nature, isn't it? And then all these stories here, you mentioned about our history of Europe. We have completely other history than all these strange names and strange things of realms and
Yes,
things
we
like
have
this.
also
that
very strange name.
does-
My name is John, your name is Sonia.
Yes, of course.
Very
Rinpoche,
strange
my
name.
question is, does
Why not
this
someone's
allow...
talking about ours? Why not?
Yeah, but my question is, I have no relationship to all this.
No need a relationship, but we can talk about daily kind of situation.
But it is the same like when you go for elections for European Parliament. You have
Yes.
no relationship to
Yes.
European Parliament.
Why not? It's
So
wonderful.
it's the same, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to talk to them. They name nice. Someone's become a good leader. Therefore,
So-
I elections. But I haven't got any relationship. They are not my boyfriend, mug. But it's why not?
So my question is, what is the purpose to understand all these things?
To understand impermanent.
Yes,
Mhm.
but then for my understanding of impermanence, would it not be better to illustrate European history or something like this?
Okay,
Because I
Hitler.
have never been in Tibet
this
like
mouse.
that.
Okay, Hitler.
What?
European culture, yes, you say.
Yeah, all these names and
Alexander.
Hmm?
Caesar.
So
They are powerful.
can I agree that that there are 3 billions of cosmos? That is that teaching coming from Buddha or what happens?
Yes, it's come from Buddha. Okay. And the treasure of the quality says, Longchenpa's book, even Brahmas, Indras, Mahishvaras, and the universal monarch, king, queens, and this kind of the visible sentient beings, human beings, indivisible beings, powerful, direct, many, in east, in west, in south, north. How many is powerful beings? Someone powerful is like the millions beings to save. Someone's millions beings killing. This kind of powerful, but they cannot control their own impermanent. And then it's like, of course, we compare that. Ourselves is impermanent. And we are impermanent, okay, but one is impermanent. What we need the positive. We need help by the positive things. This is very important. If we don't need any help at that moment, okay, then we need to drink a coffee, to sleep, do nothing. But I think we need that. Sometimes when we check, and when we have headache, do we have some times when it's like a little bit headache? What am I going? Maybe I need to take the headache medicine. Maybe this might become the cause of my death. There is a concern. Headache's gone. I forgot it impermanent. Stomach is. Please, could you give me medicines? Maybe I'm sick. My stomach. Maybe it's become the cause of my death. Concerning the impermanent. The stomach is nothing. I forgot it. It is like this. Then is even a little bit of something circumstances, negative things is coming, very much scaring. And this scaring, terrifying, until we lost order, not there anymore, scaring, terrified, then we don't need to think about that. Until there is, we need to searching something. Say, for example, sometime I may mention to say, you Buddhist or not Buddhist, you believe or not believe. Really, I'm saying, we should to concern in the cause of the happiness, should to think about the cause of the sorrow. And we can to do whatever we do. Like, for example, to say, I believe to drink coffee. That is my source of the happiness. Okay, you can to drink everyday coffee. But this is really reality. And someone says, my happiness is the alcohol. Okay, you can to drink. Are you sure? You drink more and more alcohol, then finally you achieve the happiness? I'm not sure. And we need to be serious ourselves and what is the really cause of the happiness. That is we need to do. If this is not kind of, even doesn't matter, lamas, Buddhas, Buddhists have to say something, it is not the cause of the happiness, we don't need to follow up. Absolutely. And also there's something is the cause of the sorrow, we need to abandon. For example, we can to say it's like this, the Ilona, she said, oh, these white flowers to make you allergy, say. She said, I will take out. Look, small things, negative things, can you take away? We are trying to avoid. Look like this. In this perspective, something negative, a little bit, things also to try to avoid. That is the very important, the cause of the negative things. We need to abandon, we need to try. And also it's like we need to study. And this is for me, it's like why I'm become the Buddhist. Because it's the teaching of the Buddha, messages of Buddha. Give me completely freedom. Even the Buddha, he said, if I say something, you do not need to swallow it. You need to analyze. It is a truth or not truth, you need to analyze. If it's a truth, you should to take care. If it is not truth, get rid. And like this, first times, of course, there are many different religions, different systems, different tellers, fortune tellers, skinner speakers, intelligent people, say many different things. But Buddhist people never follow. They analyze, they check before to enter the something follow-ups. Finally, they discovered that is the truth. Doesn't matter. Any kind of system, any kind of tradition, any kind of someone found the truth, the cause of the happiness, that is we need to accept. That is we need to follow. That most important, like this. Look at the impermanent, even those kind of powerful have now way that is evaded to the demon of the death. And we can to avoid the demon of the death. Can we avoid? Can we something to don't need to accept? And it's almost impossible. In the end, not even divine or the humans reach with the 5 kind of clairvoyance and the power to the flying through the sky can escape to the death. And there is such like kind of the inversible sentient beings. we call the gods. And even in the like kind of the human beings, rishis, someone has the five clairvoyance. They can see the miles by the eyes. They can to hear by the miles sound. They can go through the worlds. And they have five clairvoyance. It's a power. They understood others' thoughts like this. But they cannot avoid. It is the impermanent. And also someone has like kind of fly in the sky, looks like birds. Someone can to go to under the water like a fish. And someone can go under the earth like mouse or the mammoths. It's this kind of like a powerful, and it's like a changing, transforming different element. But they cannot to escape from the impermanent. And like this. And this later of the consolation says, I don't know, there is last time I says, this is maybe sutta. I think there is also sutta, consolation sutta, and also commentary consolation as a commentary, and by there's one Iron Deva's student. And before there is one, it's like a quotation, it's a page. And page 8, there is like, later of the consolation. This is maybe it is the commentary. Here is this one is Johnson Chimbo Nanga, Hinkala Jong Drova, and Kond Chimer, Satin Drova Muni sausage. Oh, no, so. Nyang and Sarvali. Nyang and Saltin eat it. Huh? Oh, so. But anyway, this later of the consolation, there is one commentary, the disciple of the Buddhas wrote it many. And also I think there is one sutta. It's like yesterday I a little bit said maybe it's wrong, you can to check. Nyang and Salva means it's like a Buddha, he left from the palace and in order to be enlightenment, Chobananand, it's after this king, queen, and they are such suffering. And to dispel this kind of to dispel that kind of the sorrow, and then it's like to telling. And also here is saying great rishis with there's the five folder powers can fly far and wide in the skies, yet they will never reach a land where immortality holder sways. Immortalities holder sways. It's like there's such rishis, and they are like kind of have the five folder of the power clairvoyance. They can fly very far in the sky, but they cannot go to something in the without death place. They cannot reach the land which is there's never die place. And this kind of the beings impossible can to go to there. There's no existence. Of course, there's one is the existent place. That is the true nature of the realities. That is no need to fly. There's no need to go. This true nature of place, palace, it is then in our mind. That is we need to quickly fly into there, not externally. And if we want to reach this undeath place, inner, in your natural expanse, your natural Buddha nature. So that one is quickly to making manifestation, quickly go to there, to reach there immediately. Would you like this? And where in the our human world, when they have the being the universal empires who have reached the very pinnacle of the power and material wealth. It is really top of. There are such sometimes ancient times kings ruling many different countries. They destroyed their own enemies. They collect gold, silver, most powerful like the king, queens. And like this, for example, British queen, victorious, and the head of the victorious never sunset, they said. She become like this kind of powerful. And also it's like different king like this, but also finally they are disappeared. We say many they're gone. So now it's become the histories. One day also we become like this, Sonia. You know, there is a strange Tibetan guy and Luxembourg ladies. Maybe those our sanghas talking about us. This strange Tibet guy and died. Oh, this is Luxembourg. And she's not. She stayed there. She's happy. Look. Even the small words I can make happy to her. Think about impermanent. Practice Dharma right now.
5-fold powers,
Christine,
because before it has been
Christine,
5 clairvoyance.
Can you send her again to the school to study English? Is possible? You born in the beautiful country, and in Luxembourg, when I go to their most Luxembourg peoples, they speak perfect English. What happened? I don't understand your English. Oh, darling, our English is difficult. Okay, do you have questions? Other?
Before there has been the 5 clairvoyance, and now the great Swiss riches with their 5-fold powers. Is this in connection with the 5-fold powers and the 5-fold forces or not?
5 power or 5 clairvoyant is same.
Is that the same?
Mm.
So we are
5 power. This is the power of the enlightenment. 10 powers like this. Here is talking about more worldly rishis. Some is like a god, like kind of in the desire realm as God realm. There is the God. Some those beings has this kind of 5 clairvoyance. This is not the enlightened power. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche.
You are welcome, darling. You are smiling, it's then my happiness is coming like this. And you are angry, and then my happiness going like this. But Christian, we decided tomorrow we want to send you to school. You decided, yes? Yes. Okay. Other? It's just sometimes it's wonderful, this kind of histories, a little bit. For example, myself, it's like I like very much to know about the culture, history of in Europe, I'm sometimes watching often the film, like a history, like a documentary. There is not documentary, but it's really the histories. And then it's understand the cultures. It's nice. And then it's like just we be the Dharma practitioner's perspective, not only the fun. It is like, wow, this person was powerful, already gone. And also once I was in St. Petersburg, at this the Russian Tsar, the Russian king, he created his palace, amazing, amazing. And then as I went inside, they said this is his wife, queen's place. It's like a silver, gold, everything. This is his daughter. This is his son's house, everything. He created, they said, 15 years. He collected under his people and created. And then he's like, finally, he said, there's only 5 years. After what happened, they collected something, maybe his life or his generation, I don't know, but all the royal families, big revolution came and brought in the Yekaterinburg, in this city, and then in their place, all was chopped, they killed there. Even the children they killed. They lost. 15 years they create this room, palace. 5 years stayed, and finally they lost their life. And when you think like this, wow, what we need to do, something is whatever we have today is this moment, we need to use it. We think we create something thinking in the future, and then it's like a impermanent. It's like unstable. Everything is like this. You direct to see like this. Maybe it's like this, this kind of kings. Maybe people is not very much appreciate. Okay, you are royal family, but maybe it's if he's spent to this great palace or did something, maybe he did something to help to the peoples. Maybe make more strong, nice, and probably people talking. Maybe he has, but we don't know. Like this, we can look in our Western history. There's very much some powerful, many can go. I'm often to watch in the Rome, Caesars. 25 years he made war in Europe. He conquered many countries, but then one day, and he's died, killed by his son. In imagination, also it's like he cannot escape to the death. He cannot use it. It's like kind of what he did things is negative. And compare that, our life is very short, nothing. And then it's maybe there is a little bit left our life. What we need to do, need to positive things, kindness, make happy. It's wonderful. Even we can to say, okay, I don't want to practice Dharma, meditation, recitation, prayer, and doing things, complicated. Okay, even you make happy yourself until the impermanent arrive. Also wonderful. It is marvelous to recognize human existence, thinking permanent every day. I want to make happy. Today make a party. I don't know. I'm impermanent. It's one like a mini, wonderful. But it's every day. It's something. It's problems. Not thinking about the impermanent. Doing the. What can we do? But it's that now. It's like the times for us. We are studying. Really, it's a very important things, and we're giving education ourselves, thinking about the impermanent. Of course, impermanent is the situation. Impermanent situation is our own responsibilities. For example, I'm just make joke. Before I'm coming to you, I'm dream at my mom. I love her, and when she died in my lap, and it's like at that moment, how I can to share her situation. I want to share. If there's something possible, exchange. She become alive. I can to die representative her. 100% I can do it. Absolutely, but I can't do it. And I'm just a little support to can. Of course, very kindly, my root teachers came to make nice and poor. That is the support. That is the most powerful help. And what can I do at that moment? In this kind of situation, she need to deal with her. It's the path, the impermanent. Then it's like, okay, families surround, I'm holding, that's all. Then it's like inner dissolutions, and particularly outer dissolutions a little bit. Then inner dissolutions start. Cannot think about the families. Just the turmoil in the mind is completely confused where they are. Maybe a little bit some is calm, and remember, maybe ask to help, but who can to help? At that moment, to remember the pity distortions, some teachings into your mind. Wonderful, really, really. Someone's already is like, I saw some of the dead person says like, now is the time I need to go. It is like a kind of very much happily, peacefully, and they go, it's okay, no problem, it is normal. And when I have birth, there is the death. I understood, I studied, I turn in my process. Okay, I have something. Someone is like some really some practitioners, they make him poor themselves. Sometimes they don't need any other power maker. They make them poor, they disappeared, and they can to go to next destinations. Like this, a little bit to have strength, education into our mind, wonderful. And therefore, our purpose to studying this. And now it's like, as this Sonia's questions, when we meditate, thinking about impermanent, then it's enthusiastic, interest, inspired, a little bit for the practice, Dharma. I'm often to say it's like sometimes our Western teachers and teachings a little bit very much upside down. If you go in Tibet, it's like you want to start Dharma, you need to go to from the basically, look this mouse. And to start in the beginner, it's like tell me mind for this kind of word of my perfect, these 4 reminders. Then go to Srodom. You never receive direct teaching immediately, like to nature of the mind and like the great perfections. In Europe, it's like a kind of making that little enthusiasm, immediately teaching about the great perfections, Mahamudas, talking about to nature. It is wonderful. First time we have such enthusiastic interest. Wow, wonderful. Immediately jumping and the teachings like this. But certainly, of course, it's not easy immediately become enlightenment. And then is one day, 2 days. What happened? 1 week I meditate in natural mind. Doesn't change. 1 month. No. 1 year I did. Forget it. Then it's lost. Then it's lost enthusiastic. We lost inspired. We lost faith. Everything. Then finally, even though you hear the Dharma, maybe some persons hate it. And this kind of. Then is we destroyed this person's mind. And therefore, sometimes we need to go to the little bit to making the familiarity for our basic condition, basic our situation, basic realities. Why we need to practice Dharma? Why you want to do like the Dharma, follow the Buddha's teaching? Reason of that you have. Then it's thinking about human existence, thinking about impermanent, thinking about causalities, thinking about the defects of samsaras. And then it's, now I need to hurry up to do something. Then if you can to teach some profound, good, direct, then this person's really to mind is really to settled and like kind of the to made properly way, correctly, and as we call the suitable receptacles is to make like this. Therefore, also ourselves is a little bit training. Why not? And these things very immediately to hear the true nature of the reality. Of course, it is necessary. We need to hear about again that. But based our teaching Dharma, based training process of our mind is not there, then it's difficult. In the word my perfect teacher says, if you build a beautiful house in the winter times, on the eyes, and you can to make decoration and you put the painting everything, but this is not stable. In the sufferings, ice is melting, then 100% your beautiful building is collapsed. And like this is like you first time is to make the nice foundation, to really to put good foundation. After you can to building, there's many hundreds buildings you build on top of there, maybe no problem, because your foundation is very fantastic. And you have very good foundation, Dharma foundation, into your mind. And then you did build, there is the 9 buildings, 9 vehicle of the buildings you build on that, no problem, never collapsed. And more strong, more and more comfortable, more and more happiness. Therefore, also we need to train our mind with impermanent to understand the reality of the impermanent. I want to cut you. Okay, 5 minutes, we need to rest. Okay. Yeah, sorry, no. Look, I'm very stupid. You didn't tell me. Look. Somnandaya tamche zibanya tabnene badanapa. Yeganan chiwalan trupaya sato.